mention if he has a conflict.
Okay.
And then Mark, I don't know as well, so. I don't know.
Hey, Alex, the camera for Jones Room seems to be off.
Let me check. Got it?
Yep, that fixed it.
Good.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Jacob, how are you?
I'm doing well, and you?
Good, good. Doing all right.
We'll get started. We don't have a quorum today, but we'll get started. Welcome to the fourth quarter service area committee meeting for Spring Lake Townhomes. Today is Wednesday, December 17th, 12:38 p.m. I'm Alex Stewart-Gaddis, Director of Service Areas. Beside me here is Service Area Administrator, Elise Rodriguez. Online, we have Jacob Waddle, General Manager. And we're also joined, we're not ready. Okay, we'll get ready. If you have any finance questions, we'll get ready.
Yeah.
And so this meeting will be for discussion purposes only. Oh, we have Charles as well, Service Area Liaison from the board. So let's jump right into it. Any open GoGov or CDD tickets?
For Spring Lake, there are sprinklers.
Sprinkler ones?
They're already in process.
So anything CDD GoGov wise you want to add that might need attention?
So this would include like the drip lines.
Drip lines would be more on the irrigation side.
Okay,
That's something we'll address coming to that.
okay, yeah, that's really where my kind of commentary and feedback is landscaping.
Yep.
Drip lines, that sort of thing.
Actually.
Outside of that, not a whole lot on my list.
All right, so let me just jump forward quickly. Just a reminder, we have a code of conduct that all committee members are asked to sign when they join the committee. Just a reminder, take a look at that, a refresher, remind ourselves code of conduct just annually. We'll get right into financials. Broadly speaking, for landscaping, in contract, we have 10,000 for out of contract spending and in operations. And then in reserves, we have 8,750. So it's 18,750. Annual amount to be spent. And we're proposing roughly 25% in the first half of the year to half of the year. So a buffer for unexpected circumstances, so that sort of thing. That works out about 4,700 for the first half of the year and about 14,000 for the second half of the year. Again, guideline sort of spending to allow more of it for the second part of the year and dress up the service area for the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas to be fresh. Part of that also, it's come up in other meetings. We will definitely have 2 mulch applications, even though we had a late one this year. We're shooting for probably in April and then again in October, and we're locking in those dates so we don't run into this one time per year situation. Keep it fresh 2 times.
When was like the last mulching? Because I know my yard doesn't.
Right now, it's gonna end probably by January. Spring Lake Townhomes and Gardens, so it's gonna be January. And then, but even if it happens 26, it's still 25 mulching. We're still locking in April and then October mulching to make sure.
Okay, and I've gotten questions from other residents in my view about why the mulch looks so bad.
Yeah, and it has been done. I mean, that's a reason. And part of that is irrigation staking. That's a common one that also comes up.
Right, and that was kind of a question I had, and we maybe can get to that as sort of the order of operations to make sure that we're not.
Yeah, I mean, we can jump right into that.
Yeah.
Let's talk. Tell me your ideas.
Yeah, so I can just sort of speak for my own sort of area and yard. I mean, I know when the sprinklers come on, I actually called the other day because they were on, I think it was like 2:00 on a Sunday, some of the tubing, it's just, yeah, squirting straight up out of the tubing. I know in our view, it's like flooding. I don't know if that's just what happens when the sprinklers come on, but it was pretty bad and I thought maybe there was a problem. So I had called to just let them know that like, hey, there's water issues going on, I don't know. And the person I spoke with, I don't know if he's able to see like the sprinkler schedule or whatnot, but said it sounded like that was not what was supposed to be happening and they were gonna send someone out. I had to go out, so I'm not sure if they did, but and I also noticed some of the new, at least one of the new plants that was put in around where I'm at, it looks like it isn't gonna make it. And I know we've had watering issues before, and so I'm just trying to, because I saw.
I'll tell you a reason finding,
Yeah.
some use are worse than others, basically. Yeah, that'd be called use. The irrigation, it's It's not full loop, it's basically a line. So you'll see typically on the right side of a muse, as you're looking into it, you'll see dead plant material, even the brand new stuff. And we found that there's an irrigation problem. So we're looking at upgrading the entire zone, zone by zone as required. In the meantime, if you have any plant material that's an issue, just take a picture of it, just so we can document it, and it will get replaced under warranty. But the bigger issue that we are experiencing is irrigation wise. So muse, we're gonna go and change entire lines. It's coming out, it could be 500 to 1100, depending on if you're doing an entire length or not. So brand new, because we have this irrigation thing ongoing, and you'll see almost everyone on the right side at the corner home, all the hedges are dying, almost every single one. And it turns out you're losing pressure by the end. I walked through it with Ryan and turned it on. And what happens is we have a leak on the one side, which is probably what you're seeing. We shouldn't be seeing that much runoff because these things put out droplets.
Right.
And I don't know if you notice if it's on one side or the other. Usually you're gonna see it's on one side or the other, and then you have that runoff situation. The other side's a little bit drier. So it's a failure of the irrigation system.
Yeah,
So-
I believe on the right, kind of to the right on my side.
Yeah.
And I guess, sort of on building on that, is I saw the latest sort of plant replacement and the cost associated with that. And to the extent that that plant replacement is a product of the irrigation not working,
First,
I'm just wondering, like, you know, I don't want us to
the
be
whole thing.
caught in this
Correct.
never-ending cycle where we're not addressing the irrigation, we're putting new plants, they're dying. We're having to pay for replacement.
Whatever is, and no new plants will be installed until the irrigation is remedied. And again, moving forward, they're still gonna be under warranty because the irrigation has to be confirmed working for the plant material. If there's a failure in irrigation, there's a problem with that, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be a warranty replacement. I agree, it is frustrating why we keep seeing dead plant material, why we keep repeating the same cycle. So at least now we indeed have identified irrigation issues that need to be upgraded. So for instance, part of that, we have, what do we say, like, 10 grand or so, no, 4,700 for the first half. I mean, I did 25, 75, maybe we'll do 1/3, 2/3, since we do have some irrigation upgrades to do. And a lot of it, not a lot, but a good chunk of it will go towards irrigation so that we can remedy our existing plant material, and then we can just touch up some more plants.
Okay, yeah, and I think at least Craig was agree to some extent with that we want to try and get ahead of that, just address the irrigation issues.
Agreed.
And get this fixed, because it's just been, I think it's been ongoing as long as I've lived there.
That's it for voting too. I mean, the material and labor of replacing, and what is the underlying cost, and finally figured it out. Hopefully, that's it.
I will say though, I have noticed like some of the plant replacements, you know, things are looking better. I think we still have a little ways to go. But I do see that some areas that previously looked pretty bad are starting to improve. So I certainly, you know, appreciate that.
But again, please keep us posted. Like, for instance, somebody mentioned new sod was installed in the backyard and then the gate was open. Anything we have to know about it so we can action it.
Yeah.
If we're not aware of it.
Yeah, and then the weed situation is definitely better. I'm noticing still, you know, some weeds kind of getting taller than I think they maybe should be before they're addressed. But it definitely is better.
Okay.
Again, I'm kind of speaking from my general area and what I see when I walk around. But yeah, it's for me, it's largely, just kind of that landscaping and making sure that we're getting the mulching, but of course, we don't want to put down I understand we don't want to put down the mulch before we fix the irrigation. But just making sure we have a plan for addressing the irrigation and getting it done and not having it.
Go on and
continue.
on and on.
Yeah,
Yep.
sort of this indefinite cycle that we seem to be trapped in.
Yeah, we're on the same page. Agreed.
I also did get a question regarding like the litigation and kind of where that's at, and you know, a town homeowner wanted an update, like what's going on with that.
I mean, we haven't heard anything. Jacob, have you heard anything litigation wise on the higher level? They're gonna prepare a letter, a document as an update, I believe, to the board. Jacob, do you want to chime in on anything else? I'll jump back in. I mean, on our side, more actionable, we have the eaves that we're approaching, and you may have seen, we have attorneys coming out and engineers. So we're addressing those now
Yeah.
one by one, where we see some damage underneath. Go ahead, Jacob.
So they did have to our record, they had a status hearing this month, I think on December 8th and 9th, which they should be providing an update for the Kuro board, which we have not received yet. So I'm sorry, my camera's off. Once we receive that, that should, we'll provide that information with Alex as well and be able to share some parts of that, with especially the committee.
Okay, gotcha. Just got it.
And again, it's more immediate, something that's evident of those eaves that we're seeing on the other side of the roofs from the street. We've
Yeah.
identified a bunch of them. So we did the first one, was a little bit of a process. So now moving forward should be a little bit more streamlined and just.
And are those
sliding them.
repairs that are being conducted?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Is notification going out to folks, letting them know that there's some work that, okay. Just, again,
Alex has
that
had
continues to be,
communications.
understanding we need to address.
Yeah, Alex has had communications with their council.
Things are being
Go ahead,
done.
Charles.
Almost, I said, you've been in communication with them a lot, I know, regarding these updates. And so, I mean,
Yeah.
I can see that they are reviewing this case. It is on their, it is on their mind. It's not just sitting on a shelf or anything. But we'll come back with what we find out from that mediation meeting.
So that's, as far as litigation, I mean, that's where we are. We look at this too, there's a high level, bigger picture, which we're hopeful for, but we don't really pay attention to, honestly speaking. If there's something actionable, more immediate, that's observable, that we'll take care of before it becomes a big problem.
And then I guess one other question I have, not so much pertaining to the towns, but just pertaining to like Spring Lake in general. I know, and I had seen earlier, I think everybody saw the post that was made about some of the landscape challenges, like the garden homes and the homes that surround the townhomes. And it sounds like there's a plan in place there as well, just to kind of make sure everybody's kind of up to.
Correct. I mean, so it's two levels of that. One, it's a different budget, different execution.
Right.
But the first step would be at least being in alignment with what the plan will be if there are any changes or upgrades to the park, which is oftentimes the first tier or the lowest tier of a home. So our immediate plan is to sync with operations, so at least have the design in place and in agreement with everyone. And then execution is on the park side, honestly. And even that, it wouldn't be the entire parks necessarily update. It might be, this home, this home, this home, which might need an update. But the first step is to make sure we have the plan outlined so that we know what's gonna go in when we do change.
And I will say the one comment that was made on that post about the mulching, I have noticed this where they'll do mulching, but they only do like the front part and like the back. It's like they didn't have enough mulch, or they only did like the visible part. I know that has been something in the past that has happened in the townhome area, where they kind of just do the front perimeter and then the back part of it doesn't get done.
Okay. We'll make a note, and then we'll probably send out an e-blast to everyone like we did with pressure washing, just to put everyone's eyes out. So we can get feedback. If they have any missing spots, let us know and we'll go back and action those items. But we'll make a note up front as a reminder and then wrap around at the end to make sure that the full job is complete.
And as far as pressure washing, the schedule for that, I do think where we got it done well before the holiday season.
Okay.
I believe that's how we did it this year. That was much better received than previous years where the pressure washing has occurred around Halloween, around where people have. So I think keeping that schedule, that was well received by at least a lot of my neighbors.
Our plan next year is to do probably a 4-man, 4-machine crew, because just in sequencing, we got lucky with the townhomes in the sense of it was early in the sequence, but then later on, other homes were affected with the holiday decoration. So if we do a larger crew and shorter duration of overall project, that's our goal for next year. It might be a little bit pricier, but then everyone is satisfied with the impact of the decorations, which is common to everyone.
Yeah, I think people will appreciate that. They mentioned it to me.
And then we'll coordinate that also with pressure washing and sequencing, which is the first, and mulch again. So by Thanksgiving, everything should be done and fresh and complete. That's
And
it.
then the trees, again, I know this was mentioned in that post, but some of the trees, just in the neighborhood do appear to maybe not be thriving. I know some of them have lost their leaves, and that's, they do that seasonally, but then there are some that just seem to be maybe needing to be replaced or addressed in some manner. And I know that doesn't really fall under us. It doesn't.
Yeah, those I'll request as many homeowners as possible to put in GoGov tickets for that, for CDD, for replacement.
Okay.
You are right, some trees, when they go dormant, look worse than others.
Yeah.
Then if we have our eyes on specific trees and addresses, let me know and we'll compile a list. But again, I encourage residents to better
Right.
from the other side.
I will inform that. Yeah, that's.
So then we just want to go over our accomplishments for the service area. We have had our plant upgrades, mulch is in progress. We did the 2 times pressure washing. We did the flats, the full service. And we'll pin down schedule for next year. Gutter cleaning we did as well. Any comments on gutter cleaning? And also the vendors for, pressure washing and gutter cleaning? Recommend use again or different?
So when the flat surfaces, that does not include the porches, correct?
The top landing you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and previously did not. We're getting a consensus to update the scope to include that on the flats.
Okay,
Is
yeah,
that
I was gonna say, I would concur with that,
Yep.
but that would make some sense if they're gonna come do it, might as well do the whole,
Include the landing.
or just not just.
And
I think
the
it's, maybe they do the stairs.
They stop at the last step.
Stairs.
though.
Yeah, it just, yeah,
Yeah, with that, Jennifer, just note and, potentially share with other committee members as well, that may bring your flats, will bring your flats washing at a higher expense than maybe what is budgeted, while your operating account could definitely cover the difference and we can adjust that budget for future years. Most likely to make that addition would probably bring you outside of what's currently budgeted for the flats pressure washing. But as you shared and Alex, and Delise can concur, it is a shared grievance or, of many of your residents. It seems like something good to
yeah,
add.
yeah, I just wanna know like what the increase is, but I think most people would say it's probably gonna be worth it to not have to get out there and do it or have sort of that discrepancy between your stairs and your patio, so I don't wanna speak for everyone, but I think they probably get it.
Okay. And vendors, would you use again, recommend, they're okay?
Yeah, they were great.
Great.
So,
Okay.
yeah, that's fine.
And our last success for this year, we had a meet and greet, and we encourage everyone again next year. We have one to come out, all these service area residents come out, and we share our stories, our problems, our solutions, and everyone gets to speak with each other and share their war stories, I guess, and
Yeah.
positive and negative. Yeah, both positive and negative. It was definitely successful, good time.
Oh, good. Yeah, I had a work commitment, so.
Next one.
But yeah, I think that's good. I know, there were some other townhome folks who said they had went and had a nice time. It felt like they got a chance to talk with other people, share some concerns.
Yep.
Also, again, successes, because it's important too, and to acknowledge when things have improved. And I can say generally that things have definitely improved this past year. I feel like we
Right.
have a channel for voicing concerns.
Exactly.
And then action gets taken, which up until this past year really has not always been the case. So I think I can speak for Mark and Craig and say that we really appreciate that because we can see, I can see the improvements happening.
Good.
And I know the walkthroughs, I'm hoping to be able to join one of those, but those landscape walkthroughs, and sort of those details where clearly some time has been spent looking at the homes, looking at the views, looking at specific places where that really goes a long way, I think, towards helping us as the committee members when we're talking with people, sort of explain what's going on. We can show them,
Good.
The actions that are being taken instead of just telling them that we've
That's a plan.
articulated it, there's a plan, but we're
Uh-huh.
not really sure what that is. So I think that's been very helpful, and I know I very much appreciate.
Thank you for sharing.
And part of that, I'll just remind everyone and share it with everyone, please let us know so immediately.
Yeah,
Any
absolutely.
pictures, a text, any email, as soon as it happens, and don't wait, because as soon as it happens, if we action it, it has the biggest impact. If we wait, then it kind of drifts off until next time again. So as soon as something happens, you see something off, let us know, so we could at least put eyes on it, take a look at it. See what's going on.
Yeah, we'll do. And also, the magnolia, the trimming, I think has been great. That really kind of helped
Yep.
get a lot of that.
That was a great idea, bringing up the canopies,
And
for
I
sure.
think maybe the plants under there has a fighting chance now instead of.
Agreed. Some blueberries need a little bit of trimming as well, the blueberry, Japanese blueberries, but we're in the right direction.
Yes, I would agree with that, for sure.
Good. Any other input or comments?
No, there's nothing else. Again, I'm sure my,
We have good contact with the email too, so that's.
the guys probably have some additional things, but, with those good, the landscaping is the primary thing that I kind of notice.
Good, good.
And
And your input is hugely important to us, and we mentioned it, those are actionable items, everything you mentioned.
But yeah, the landscaping crew, I see them out there, they're working hard. I know there's still maybe some areas of improvement, but,
Yeah, if I could follow up, like cleaning up when they're done, or any installation projects cleaning up, that was a big one, clean up and
yeah,
sidewalks, that sort of
the
thing.
sidewalks, I would say that I know down by us, there was kind of dirt everywhere and it was
Yeah.
sort of
Huge
left there.
complaint, and I'm on top of them for that. That should be just common, work practice, workmanship.
Yeah.
So it's been addressed, and we continue to follow up. And again, if you see footprints, anything, just let me know as soon as possible, and we'll get them out there right away. And just to show them, look, guys, we left this, now you have to come back and deal with it, instead of taking care of it when you were here. Making 2 church houses for no need.
Yeah, but for the most part, the guys are great. I know I talk to them occasionally when I'm out there.
Good, good.
I know they're working hard to keep the area.
Yeah.
Very nice, so,
Any other input, online?
No, just
Oh,
thank you
yeah.
very much for sharing that feedback. It's, as you know, a lot of work has gone into correcting our services provided to the service area. So it's always rewarding to hear positive feedback.
yeah, absolutely, it's well deserved.
Okay.
Yeah. And I echo what Jacob said. I think that's from a board perspective. We've been spending a lot of time on service areas, and we've really tried to rally around it. And really kudos to Jacob and Alex and Delise, and obviously the committee and Jennifer and team. Patience is I can't thank you enough for your patience. And we know we have a lot of work to do still, but that feedback was great, and we're going to continue on that positive trajectory. So thank you.
Yeah, we're not stopping here.
No.
Yeah, thanks, Charles,
Thank you.
appreciate it, and all your help as well, and all the oversight. I think we're definitely headed in a good direction, and so.
Yep.
Was it committee member, anything else that I can do to sort of help support your efforts?
Just the feedback, that's all. I'm
Yep.
a city resident, and tell everyone, just don't hesitate to reach out, please don't.
Yeah.
You're hurting us by not reaching out, and then we get here, learn about it later, and it's hard to do anything about it.
Yeah.
So as soon as we see something, let us know, and we'll jump on it.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Well,
I'd agree. Yeah, the immediate feedback, especially helpful. If we're informed while the crews are still out there, we can then address it while they're still out there, and fixes it faster. And
Yeah. Excellent. All right, there's nothing further. I'd like to conclude the meeting. Thank you for attending.
Yeah.
And happy holidays, everyone.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye. You too. Bye.